Hello!
Hey guys!
Time for an interior tour of our 2017 Seawind 1260 4-cabin, and
Yep.
it is hull number
1.
So this is a bit different than some of them,
Yes.
but we wanted to give you a little walkthrough just as it sits currently. It's not super clean, so bear with us.
Lots of projects going on.
And there's already so much to talk about that, we're going to miss some things. So let us know what questions you have below.
We'll put links of anything that we have links for down below as well. And yeah, buckle up. It's going to be
Here we go.
A little bit of a tour here. Okay, so we're in the salon here, and the biggest thing that I love about the salon is just the airflow. As you can see, we have these, it's a triple door actually. We have it up right now. And I have made some mosquito nettings. It's very buggy where we're at right now, and so this is not quite finished, but it's working right now. It's just magnets, so there's an entry right there that you can go in and out of, and then it rolls up out of the way. I have another temporary mosquito bug net on here, which I will sew something that does exactly the same thing, but that's just literally draped over it right now. There's tons of storage up here, and that will be a theme throughout this boat, a lot of storage. You can see it's white, which is not great. We would make that very dirty very quickly, so I ordered off of Amazon these seat covers, and they're stretchy, and you can just pull them off and wash them, and that has been amazing. So I highly recommend seat covers like this. One other cool feature about this, and I won't do it, but this table actually moves all over the place. You can have different configurations where you can walk around the whole thing, and it also goes down into a bed, and we have a cushion that goes on top of it, so you can make this into a nice big bed up here as well. Fans, good ventilation up here. I did little storage bins, so we have places to put our sunscreen and cameras and just stuff that we're grabbing constantly. There are sunscreens on the outside of the windows, which we found with the boat, and that has been really nice. It just cuts down a little bit on the heat that gets in here. And then the last little decorative thing is my little fake plants that I have placed all over, and yeah, it just makes it feel better in here. Sometimes I confuse the bees with the lavender there. The other thing that's really nice about this area, the last thing, is the stereo. Tim replaced this when we got on board, and it is Bluetooth capable, and it hooks into the TV, so we use that constantly. There's speakers inside and outside, and you can connect wirelessly, obviously, to your phone, and then also surround sound when you're watching a movie. So that's really cool.
Okay, we'll see what I forget. On both sides, we have power windows. So on some of the other Seawinds, these are removable, and you need to find a place to store them, or they have a little cubby. These power up and down. So we tend to leave these open if it's not buggy, but right now it is. So they're closed. And this cord you see on the ground here is just Starlink. We have it not permanently installed at the moment, but we're going to get a different Starlink because ours, I think, is damaged, and then we'll do a permanent install. So right now, this doesn't look so great. Our chart plotter does swivel around, so if we're on passage, you could sit inside and look at it, but we tend to like sitting at the helm to be on watch, and so we tend to leave this sort of facing like it is, and we take the mic for the radio VHF and move it outside. We have a little 22-inch smart TV here. This we had to replace when we bought the boat. And then we hooked up our Google Chromecast. As we traveled in our truck, if we ever stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel, if it didn't have a smart TV, you'd plug this in, and that just makes any TV smart. So that's really nice to cast things from our phone or watch a movie from it. We've got all the controls for the lights right here, and I love how they all light up as you use them.
So you know which ones are on. That's
yes,
really nice.
It's really nice. Kelsey, add a little bit of storage right here, just because we have a lot of charging cords. Because as you can see, one cord's for Google Chromecast. This is for our really our additional chart plotter, which is a tablet that we mount outside when we're underway, and so this plugs into that, keeping it nice and charged up. Kelsey mentioned she's making a lot of screens, which are nice. These two windows are so massive and open up. That was one of our favorite things about this boat, because so many boats we looked at, some had no ventilation in front, just hatches above, and then others had little tiny windows. This has been really nice as it gets hot.
It makes a huge difference.
Huge difference. Kelsey mentioned these are all storage down here. This one slides around, so we'll actually move it around to the end here, and now you've got a nice long bed under passage. But we tend to leave it here when we're anchored, just because then we've got our sort of movie viewing platform here to look at the TV.
A double lounge.
A double lounge. In these, we've got them all labeled, but we have, first aid down here. This is just more random storage. It's a lot of the like isinglass and canvas and things like that for outside we keep here. This is all the breakers for all the electronics. In here we have our 600 amp hours of lithium batteries. Behind that one is actually our water tank. Over here we have our SeaWater Pro, which is a 12-volt system for desalination to make water.
Which has worked great.
Really has worked great for us. And with what we're used to traveling overland in a small Land Cruiser around the world, we use so little water that we've both taken a shower the last 2 days, and I think we tend to take like gallon, maybe gallon and a half showers. Good. So a 17, 18 gallon per hour water maker is more than enough for us. I've got all my tools down here. This is pretty much filled with tools, silicone, all sorts of different things that you need to work on the boat there. This one is what, just life jackets? Basically?
Yeah.
And then the water pump is also in there.
There's nothing under there right now because we moved the life jackets.
You're right. Okay, so not a lot in here. Kelsey mentioned this table that can go down and form into a bed. We just haven't used it a lot yet because this area is so big. So with the two of us, we don't tend to use it that much. When we had guests over once, we did pivot it around. As Kelsey mentioned, it pivots on that big leg down there and can be in sort of different configurations because it's offset on the bottom. So that's kind of cool. I think that pretty much does it for up here. Oh, we've also got our life vest stored here. So we installed a couple of little hooks just so you can grab them really quickly when you're underway. And then more critical things like any keys for the boat. And then we've got our Garmin inReach, a backup VHF, flashlights, that sort of thing. We have a red light for nighttime and then normal white light. So if you're in here looking at maps or anything like that. I think that pretty much does it for up here. Is there anything else you can think of?
No, I can't. I think we'll take them down to the
Let's go
port
downstairs.
Side. So this is the side of the boat that is differing from most models you've probably seen. Because
normally this whole side would be the owner's side, and this would be a big walk-in shower. For us, this is our secondary guest cabin. So you see, you've got the LED lights, you got a reading light, its own fan in here, a big fire extinguisher, and skateboard storage, obviously. And then you can get to all the mechanicals for the steering and the helm, all the electronics you can get to from in here, and I really like the accessibility. Down below, we've got so much storage. A lot of it's not even very full just because we have so much of it. We have two 3YM30 Yanmar diesel engines, little 3-cylinder diesels, non-turbo. I'm really happy with these engines and just their setup. I can climb down in and get to all sides of the engine. So when we first bought the boat and I was doing a lot of mechanical work, I would just kind of get down in there and you can kind of spend hours working on everything. We also have a hot water system that runs off of this engine. You can heat water via electricity. Currently it's set up only to run off of shore power. Now that we have lithium, I think we could use it. Where we've been is so warm that even a couple of days after running the engine, the water's still pretty lukewarm, I would say. It's not a hot shower, but that's more than enough for us.
We haven't wanted hot water at
least. We haven't wanted it. So we either start the engine or I can convert it so we run off the 600 amp hour lithium.
And then there's a little hatch back there.
Yep, we got a nice big opening hatch here that'll open up sideways. I won't do it because there's no seams all over the place. A couple in here actually that we killed.
And then
so much storage, right? So little cubbies all over the place on this boat. So everywhere you look, there's another way. Oh, there's not one under there. So,
just kidding.
Never mind, not there. There's not any there. And I think that pretty much does it for this. So yeah, like I mentioned, this will be our secondary guest cabin, and then I will have Kelsey show you some more things.
Okay, so coming forward, we have, again, so much storage in the bilge. This one is just empty and open and giant. It's really nice. We haven't figured out where to put
I love how you can get to all the mechanicals. Sorry to cut you off. But as you can see, there was different pumps in there, and everything is so accessible on this boat.
That is a huge, huge deal. In this little cubby, I just keep, books, but our Cardo headsets. You're pointing at things. This usually lives outside, but this is just stuff that on a passage you just want to be able to grab really quickly. So yeah, our tablet, that's how we navigate. We use that up there, so it has a little ram mount suction cup. And then the Cardos, which we absolutely love. I'll put a link to those below. And binoculars. Anything else that I missed in there?
Nope, I think that's it.
Yeah. An umbrella.
An umbrella.
My favorite cubby, this one, because I just feel like, I don't know, I like it. It's under the stairs.
Hidden cubby.
I like it. Okay, I'll let Tim tell you a little bit about the electronics.
Okay, so going through the electronics, you got your breaker panel here. We've got a whole nother more specific breaker panel that's actually over underneath one of these cushions. This is more what you'll use on a day-to-day basis. I tend to leave it on this screen just because it shows you your current charge, the voltage of the main house batteries, and whether you're taking in amperage or using it, I guess is the word I'm
sending it out.
Sending it out to things. On this, you've got your water tank, fuel tank starboard, fuel tank port, and then battery voltages. So to me, I tend to leave it on that screen. What we tend to have on is freshwater pump and fridge and freezer. We're defrosting the freezer right now, so that's off. But these two generally stay on. And then at nighttime, of course, we'll turn on the anchor light. But that's pretty much what we have on when we're not underway. We've got the bilge pumps here set to auto, so if they do get water in them, they'll turn on. This is the port side black water pump out, so sewage pump out. So if we're at sea or under sail, we can hit this button. The starboard side actually works off of gravity, so the storage tank is actually pumped up into well above the water line, and when you're sailing, you can open a couple valves and that'll empty itself out. More breakers and fuses right here. This is just, again, more storage, but we tend to use it for all of electronics. This Makita wet dry vac has been amazing for the boat.
I'll put a link to that one below because I absolutely love that. It's portable.
Yeah, portable, walk around the boat, uses the same batteries as all of our drills and everything. And then you can take out the air filter and it's a wet vac, so if you have water in the bilge or anywhere on the boat, you can use it for that. We've also been using it to clean fabrics. So like if you have a stain on a cushion, you can go ahead and soap it up and then use it like a wet dry vac. More breakers in here. This is for the 110 system. Actually, sorry, 220 system. This is a transformer, so if we have anything that has to be run on 110, we can do a step down from our 220 Australian style ports or plugs and use it. We haven't had any issues though. So far, I think we've found everything we own at this point, from tools, batteries, what else? Laptops. Are all able to be used off a 220, or we've been able to find a plug or a breaker.
USB charger.
Yeah, USB charger or something to avoid using it. So right now, our inverter is only on to run Starlink. So we'll convert that to 12 volts soon, and then I'm going to love not having this inverter on almost ever.
Yep.
So that's that.
And that is just a huge, again, huge cabinet. I could probably fit 3 of me in there.
Yes.
And
three of you in there.
3 of me.
Whoa.
That's how I measure things
much.
in this boat.
Yeah.
How many of me can I fit in there? So right here, as Tim is showing you, we have just little hooks. I've added as much easy access storage as I can, so we often are grabbing these sun shirts, and they ended up on the floor a lot. So I just put a hook, and that's been nice. This is kind of like, I don't know, I use it as a medicine cabinet, so there's little shelves and then just more storage for the bathroom. And this is our head. So this is where it's a bit different from the 3 cabin. Turn on the light. 3 cabin version. And as you can see though, it's a big area. I'm way back here. But once you close the door, this is actually your shower right here. Again, nice storage, and you have a hatch. There is a mirror on the back of the door. It's been plenty of room. I do not want for room in here actually, so I'm pretty happy. And then I'll let Tim show you.
Why don't you go and open it up for me, and I'll just point to a couple things. Not much to see in here, but these are the 2 main deep bilges, the keel bilges, I guess we call them. You've got your diesel tank right here and a shut-off in case you had like a runaway diesel engine or something like that, and the sensor for the gauge over there. This is your gray water tank for this side of the boat, and then of course the bilge down there. I love that the bilges on both sides are bone dry now that we've dried them out and found any sources of water coming in, and I want to keep them that way just so we know if there's ever a real issue.
Yep. So I think that does it for the bathroom, and I will move into our bedroom, just a few steps away across the hall. Again, lights, nice and bright in here. There's little steps because the bed is actually quite high, as you can see, but you don't really notice it. You just are able to crawl up in there. This is a queen size bed, but we have little like wings, I guess, on either side, and that makes it, I think, larger than a king. It feels huge in here, so that is super, super nice. I really love having these extra pads on the sides. We have a fan in here for when it's hot, and then there are 2 hatches. Both have a shade and a screen, so it's nice and cool and no bugs in here, which is great. Let's see, under here we have more storage under the bilge, in the bilge, sorry, as well. Huge amount of storage in this room. This is giant. I think I could fit 4 of me in there. That's how I measure that one.
That's an odd measurement. How many bald eagles can fit in each cabinet?
That probably about 10 bald eagles. And then again, another little step to go up in here. These cubbies, which Tim has one, I have one, they're huge. Again, giant cubbies. So everything is just shoved in there right now. It's not very easy to organize, but it's a ton of space. Socks, that's where Socks lives. But there's tons and tons of storage. This is storage. This one is huge. I could fit one of me in there. There's like comforters and pillows and stuff in there. It's just really nice. It's deep and huge. And then we have this hanging locker, which, again, let's see. So I could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 of me in there. And then there's a crash bulkhead ahead of that.
That's one of the things we definitely like with this
Yes.
boat. So a couple weeks ago, we got to meet Mark and Isabel, and they actually were crossing the Pacific Ocean, hit a shipping container that was submerged in the ocean, and ripped off, literally cut a piece of the bow out of the boat because they were going at speed. And the boat was able to make it 900 plus miles
Yeah, it's incredible.
because of that crash bulkhead. So for us, I'm glad at both bow and stern, we have a crash bulkhead.
Yeah, no, it's definitely really cool. They were really fun to meet too. Windows in here, these don't open, just the hatches above open. And I recently made little blackout curtains, so you can black it out if you want to, but we find that we most of the time want to look out, or if we're on anchor, it's nice to be able to just pop your head up and check on what's going on out there. Switch around. We have our fire extinguisher, safety, and then hats, again, just hanging on the back of the door here, and then big cubbies. So all of our shoes for both of us fit in this lower cubby, and then we have a bunch of hats and stuff in top cubby. Really nice amount of storage, but I think that does it for down here on the port side. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we'll go back up and go to the other side. You get your workout in this boat too, because there's a fair amount of steps up and down. So, coming over to the starboard side, the galley is down on this, and when we first started looking at boats, I did not like a galley down, and I have completely changed my mind. For this boat, I absolutely love it, because you feel like you're still part of everything. I can see the helm, I can still talk to everybody, so you feel like you're still connected. There's so much counter space, and when you're moving around, you're able to brace yourself. It's awesome. And then you get this view. I mean, the amount of times I'm doing dishes or just doing something here and I look out, and it's so cool. You're at like water level doing that, and then you have nice hatch here, which throw food out, and then stove, oven sort of works, but I've been loving having an oven. I have to say, having a real kitchen has been amazing. Nice big double sink. I think I'm going to replace the faucet so it's a little bit taller, and then has like a pull out. That'll make it easier. The knives always go in the sink when we're underway. They haven't flown off, but I'm afraid what will happen if they did fly off. Everything else stays put. I added these little spice racks just on Amazon, and that has been great. Obviously just the normal fridge. It's what was in here, and it's pretty old. I think we'll have to replace it fairly soon. We'll see how long it lasts. And then we're defrosting this right now, so it's gross, but this is our freezer, and it's huge. So this is where we keep like meats and, you know, all that kind of stuff that is frozen for a longer term. Again, just tons of storage. Everything is deep, and you won't be able to see it because I'm opening it the wrong way, but we have not filled it, and everything is nice and organized.
What's in that one?
Which
that
one?
little cubby there.
Oh yeah, this. Okay, so this cubby has this, which I think you're supposed to put dish rags on, but they always fall off, so I don't put them there. So I don't know what I'm going to use that for. But I have cutting boards here, so it's really handy. Everything has like a nice place. And then I'll show you, because this one is also very organized, just built in from Seawind, that you have all this nice storage. It's really cool to be able to be organized. Pots and pans go down under here. Lots of storage. I won't open it all up, but there's tons of storage under here, here, and up there. So there's just
so much
storage.
So many spices.
And then you'll notice we have fans everywhere too, so it's nice. When it's not buggy, everything is open, and the airflow throughout the whole boat is just incredible.
Okay, I'll hand over to you.
Okay.
Yes, so right now this was a saltwater wash down for the sink. With the water maker, we're actually going to replace this with just a filter tap and have this just be our drinking water. Right now, the drinking water actually goes right through this, and we have a 0.5 micron carbon filter beneath the sink that we installed. So that's just kind of hanging out until we switch it to be over on its own tap. This side bilge, very similar to the other side. You've got the gray water tank right there. fuel tank right here. And then, of course, a nice, dry, clean bilge, which is
Beautiful.
hopefully how we'll keep it.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it for there. If we move back this way, again, so much more storage in all of these down here. These are actually dry bilges, so any water that were to come in the engine area or from the sail drive or down there, there's actually a channel beneath this one. So we're able to keep, you know, paper towels and things that aren't going to have water going past it. More storage in here. Basically, this room we have decided to make sort of the mechanical room.
It's the garage.
It's the garage. So my tools are up there, but I have tons of spare fluids here. So I've got oil, coolant, fuel filters, oil filters for the dinghy engine, for the main engines, etc. So this is packed full of stuff. Shop rags down here, extra wire, and then over here we've got all these different bins that Kelsey has bought, and each one's organized. So it's sort of like plumbing items, electrical, etc. I've got my power tools up there. This is a big, we call it a truck fridge or an overland fridge, just a little Costco thing that we've had smaller ones in all the trucks we've traveled in. This one's fantastic because one side is freezer and the other side is set up as a fridge. You can have them both freezer, both fridge, whatever you want. But we really like this because when we bought the boat, the inspector had said both the fridge and the freezer were broken. We have actually since got both working with a little bit of wiring and playing around, but not being sure whether those will last. I love having this, and for what, $600?
Yeah,
this is such a nice thing, and it
it's
draws
12 volt.
very little. It's 12 volts as well.
Yeah.
Back here's a hanging locker just like on the other side, and access to all the mechanicals for the helms. So you can pull out the sort of interior of that closet behind the fire extinguisher and whatever else you have. You can get to all the electronics on the other side, and then on this side you can see the chain for the steering and all that sort of stuff. This front is actually a massive storage area, so because there's no hot water tank on this side, you have a super deep all the way down to the bottom of the hull storage area, and I've got so much oil for oil changes and things like that, filling it up to the top.
Yeah, that's another huge, that could fit probably 4 of me.
Yeah, there's 4 of you or 37 bald eagles fit in this one. So it's just a neat thing. This obviously would be the other bedroom, but right now we have 2 spare bedrooms. We didn't need a third, and so we've decided to turn this one into the mechanical room like this because the fridge is then close to the kitchen. So if you need anything from any of the fridge freezers, you're all sort of in one area, which is why we decided to make that side the secondary guest room. So I think we're ready to keep moving up.
Yeah, do you want to mention the EPIRB? Because I don't know if we talked about that one.
Yeah, so we did have to get a different EPIRB. The one that was on the boat was Australian and they're country specific. So we went ahead and bought one of these and, you know, just have it there, a manual release that we would take with us. And we have all the other stuff we take with us right next to our life vest. So we kind of 2 areas to grab stuff. Other than that, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. I will take you forward. And this is what we call our guest bedroom. And right now, it has some storage in it, but so it has a mattress from the garage area right now. So yeah, this is a queen bed, so it is really big. It has a nice big hatch up there, fan, lights, all the fancy stuff. More storage.
More USB.
Yep. Under here, we've got our fire extinguisher, and then behind the door, here I'll grab this so that you can see, there is a giant hanging locker.
Massive hanging locker there.
Yeah.
And then just so much more. And I do love that all these shelves are glassed in, so they're all part of the structure of the boat. So nothing squeaks, nothing makes noise on this boat. Yeah. And I really love that. It's just everything is so solid. And as you can see, we don't really know where to put everything. I guess we do have some food in this one, but as soon as we're using this for guests, there's so much room back there, we could easily move it back there.
Really, I've just put stuff where we're still figuring out where everything goes. So this will be guest area, not food area. But this is what we've been using as our shower. So this is the guest head, I guess you'd call it. And it works really well as just our shower. It also works as a bathroom very well. You have a hatch above you, storage, more storage. It's a small-ish area, but I don't feel cramped at all when we're showering. So I think of it as our walk-in shower. Excuse me.
The whole room up there. You can fit 20 Kelseys up here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Okay, so this, eventually, that area up there is the crash bulkhead. But what I like is if I was working on stuff in here, I can actually climb in. So we've got our, let's see. This is our saltwater pump. The only thing it is now used for is actually making water with our water maker. Before, the wash down up on the deck was salt water, and of course that tap I showed you back at the sink. But we've disconnected both of those and put them to fresh water now. And so salt water really is just for the water maker. This is super deep, and so we've got fluids and things like that for our water maker, cleaning stuff, simple green, all that kind of stuff, cleaning items that aren't small. That small items go under the kitchen sink. Everything else sits up under here. This is the starboard black water tank, so the macerator and everything has to pump it up into it. But the nice part is when you do want to dump it, there isn't any pump to pump it out. It simply is 2 valves, and under sail, it'll empty itself as you're going along. And that is that. And then of course, like I said, up front you have a crash bulkhead. I opened it up and checked it out just to make sure it was nice and bone dry. But other than that, we shouldn't really be needing to get in there, I hope, ever.
Yeah.
Oh, we should mention under both beds, because we
yeah.
never even think about it. Under both beds is actually an escape hatch. Now, for us, hopefully we'll never ever use them, and I very much like that they're not the kind that are right there where they get hit by water all the time, and we hear about people having them break loose and cause your boat to sink. So
I think that sort of does it for this tour. What do you think?
I think we're pretty close. So let us know what we missed. Hopefully that's everything.
Yeah.
There's so many little nooks and crannies on this boat that we'll try and do some B-roll of anything we missed.
Yeah.
Or if you have any questions, let us know. The next video will be exterior because there's just too much to fit into one video.
Yeah, and I'm sure we forgot, like you said.
25 things.
Let us know what you have questions about, and I'll leave links below, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far and stuck with us, we appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.